In the key polls, the Democratic Party's approval rating is the lowest in nearly 2 decades. Joining me now in studio, Democratic governor from the state of Delaware, just down the road, Meyer. Governor, nice to see you as always.
Good to see you, Blake.
Thanks for being with
us.
Go
Blue.
Go Blue, I learned about him. J.B. Pritzker, mass protests, Republicans don't give him a moment of peace. What do you make of him saying that? Should he be saying that? And how does that square with the message that should be coming from your party?
Blake, I think it's a funny thing to say here in the Beltway in D.C. I'm just visiting.
Yeah.
At this time, with all this craziness going on, I think the party that's going to win, the person that's going to win the future is whoever delivers for Americans. What I see in Delaware every day are school children who are not getting quality public education. I see people struggling with 401ks that are decreasing. I see veterans who've suddenly been laid off from federal jobs. We can sit here and complain about it and cause havoc, but what we need to do first and foremost is make sure we're delivering for people in this very challenging time. That's what we're trying to do in Delaware. I know that's what Governor Pritzker actually is trying to do in Illinois.
So when you look at Pritzker, when you look at Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Sanders, and you see all these messages out there, who do you think's on the right path? For your party,
I don't really. I know there's a lot of, especially now, people. Who's going to be the next person to lead the Democratic Party? The Republican Party right now, actually for a decade, has chosen a person, and whatever that person says or does, that's what the policy of the party is. The Democratic Party is different. We're a party of policy. We're a party of people that's truly going to deliver for people. So my belief is whatever person or group comes up with the policies that are going to win the future in terms of a true economic future for working families. Everybody's been talking about bringing down prices. There was a Democratic president, I like President Biden. Then there's been a Republican president, President Trump. The price of eggs in my community keep going up and up and up. The price of gas that was promised to go down is not going. So I think, the future of our party is whoever can solve these very challenging problems. There's increasing technology. All of us have these things that do incredible technology, but life is getting harder and harder for working people. I think a lot of people, quite frankly, a lot of good people, thought that President Trump may address that issue when he came in. 100 days in, it doesn't look too good. It's getting even harder and harder.
I guess the question for Democrats is, how do they fight and how should they fight? And should they fight with the volume turned all the way up?
And I think, listen, fight is part of it. There's some stuff going on that's absolutely...
Do you even think they should fight?
There's stuff going on that's reprehensible and deserves to be fought. I'm the only governor in America, the only sitting governor, who is in a program called AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps is about service. It's about people sometimes making $15,000, $20,000 a year to teach in our communities, to tutor kids, to support veterans, to help disabled, to help all sorts of people who are struggling in our communities. That program has effectively been terminated. I just, before I came in here, was on the phone trying to figure out over 100 of these AmeriCorps members in Delaware today who are going to be out of work in a week. There are U.S. citizens, children, including someone who's a cancer patient, being deported from our country. That deserves us all to go to the streets and say this is wrong. But there's also issues where we have to deliver. The overwhelming majority of Americans, right, are looking for someone who's going to deliver for them. That means increasing services and reduce cost. What we're seeing now out of Washington is increasing cost and reduced services.
You're wearing a green tie. It's not coincidental.
It's not coincidental.
Because you are among the biggest Philadelphia Eagles fans on the world. I think it's safe to say you're up there.
There's some pretty, I don't paint my face, but yeah, I'm pretty big. Yeah.
They were in town today, and Saquon Barkley, the star, people are upset with him because he played golf with Donald Trump, then flew on Air Force One with him, and he said today, he said, get out of my mentions with all this politics and have an amazing day. He's catching grief for playing golf with the President of the United States. How upsetting is that, or is it not to you that that's the case, that he can't go out there and say, you know what, I played golf with Barack Obama, I played golf with Donald Trump, leave me alone.
I like Saquon Barkley because he can run a football really well. He can put the football in his arms and ends up.
So I guess you're agreeing with him, right? Like, don't worry about the politics.
I think, quite frankly, I think all of us need to play a role. I think there are people who we need to go out on the street. I was protesting a week and a half ago in Delaware. Over 1,000 people came to one of 3 or 4 protests in Delaware. And that might not sound a lot to a lot of people out there. In Delaware, 1,000 people is a lot of people, right? I think there are times and there are people who like going up and chaining themselves to a building, getting arrested. That's important. That's an important part of any movement. But there are also people who need to go into the House and Senate behind us and make votes. There are people that need to sit down with the president who believe, who share my values, who need to negotiate
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.